Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about business acumen and go over principles, marketing, accounting, business plan. This is all rough. That's not it's not intended to be comprehensive in this particular one. We will have individual comprehensive ones, videos that go over exactly those types of things. But the idea here is that I give you an idea of what you should be aware of when running your own business. So let's talk about business acumen. What that means is, what do you know? What have you come through the ranks knowing? So have you run a small type of personal business, of any kind? Do you know how to determine what your principles are and that type of stuff? So, and why is it important to know that before you start a company? So we're going to go over that, and we're going to talk a little bit about, excuse me, we're going to talk a little bit about, oh yeah, someone asked me about the backgrounds. So this is a building we saw when we were in Turkey. We were on a ferry in Istanbul going across. It was beautiful, actually. As you can see, the weather's gorgeous. And I love construction, no matter where we're at. I always check out the construction of buildings. That's just my thing. So you'll see a lot of backgrounds. All the backgrounds in my videos are photographed by me or my wife, but mostly by me because she doesn't take pictures of construction. It's not her thing. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to get into this business acumen, and I'm going to share my screen right now. And here we go. Okay, here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to assess what our principles are. So very often in the construction industry, everyone touts quality, safety, and schedule, right? You're going to be able to, that's what we're offering you, budget, right? So that typically is it. So an owner, although they want you to be safe and not harm yourselves or harm anybody else, they want you to essentially get the project done on time, on budget, and with top quality. So those are pretty much a given in the construction industry. So what is it different that you're going to bring? Well, it depends on what you're doing. So as a business owner, you're bringing a client two things. You're bringing a client an organization that is going to serve the client's needs while producing a product that meets not only the expectations of the client, the product, but also provides a good experience for the business owner or the client. And in return, because the product was good, but the experience was exceptional, that client is willing to talk about it and willing to be a cheerleader for you to continue to grow and may provide continuous work to you. If all you do is provide a good product and you don't have an organization and essentially, hey, Jim, I'm going to come over and I'm going to build your deck for you. Great. I'm bringing it over. It's only going to cost you $2,000 above our cost. Is that cool? Yeah, that's cool. Great. You come in, you do everything you said you're going to do. It's a good product and you got it done. Took your time, but for the most part, you're fine. Nothing exceptional. Um, great. When people come and ask him, when they come to ask him, hey, who did your deck? He'll say, yeah, these guys are pretty good. All right. The difference between that experience and, hey, we're going to come in here, we knock out everything. We're going to make sure we don't damage any of your roses. We're not going to take care, harm any of this stuff. We're going to provide you a service that's going to make you feel exceptional. And the product that we're going to leave behind is going to be something that even your neighbors will envy. That type of thing. That's a little bit of salesmanship, but that's really the experience you want him to have. You want him, her, whatever, to feel like the organization gives a crap about them and not just putting in a product. Okay. So they want to be able to also reach out to you if there's a problem in the future. Checking happens, a board warps and pops out, and now they're feeling like, well, you didn't put in a good product. But the reality is, yes, boards do warp and they do break. So, uh, so what you have to get them to feel that because of our organization, we have lasting power. We're going to be here a long time. We're young, but we have lasting power. And it's not just a fly by the night outfit. So that's why you put principles in there. So here, the way you figure out what your principles are is number one, know what the hell your purpose is. Uh, build a quality product at a discount price. While giving a, a good experience. Okay, that's great. All right, that's a thing to have. All right, if that's what you want to do. So the principle here is to provide a good product. I don't even know how you want to build a reputation. Might be conflating the two. So the reputation, let me put it over here to the left. Reputation. Reputation is a discount builder with a conscience. I probably spelled that wrong, but it doesn't matter. Okay. If that's what you want, and you're going to do 1,000 decks, and you're going to make a profit of $1,000 on each deck, all right, great. If what you're doing is you're building something that's lasting, and you're providing a top quality product with 2-year warranty and guarantees. I'm sure I'm spelling some of this wrong. I don't really care. You can spell check it all you want. And providing an excellent experience at a profit. Okay. So here we're gonna come up, we're gonna mess around with this, do some wrapping so it all goes in the thing so you can see it. All right, so this is top quality builder. You'll probably do quite a few less decks or less construction or whatever product you're providing, less fancy lighting, exterior kitchens, whatever, than you would if you were a discount. Why is that okay? Because you're charging appropriate amount of money and people are willing to pay for good quality. And as long as they know that you're going to be around a while, which the 2-year warranty guarantees it, then most warranties, for the most part, I would say some homeowners don't believe that the warranties you're going to be around to match the warranty. They're willing to take that risk. In the resident or in the commercial side, um, when you put a warranty on it, you're going to either sell that warranty to someone if you're going out of business, or you're going to be doing that work regardless. They can sue you otherwise. Okay. So there's other things to be considering there. Plus, you got to carry insurances and all that stuff on the commercial side, not so much on the residential side. All right. So you're also going to guarantee that you're not going to knock over the roses or whatever. One of the ways to check your spell check is to go to tools, hit spelling, boom. Hey, check all sheets. Nope. I guess I'm fine. Okay. So principle. Um, one of the principles is never build a crap product. And you can use your own language. Replace at own expense if necessary. All right. That might be something. The principle here is absolute guarantee of top quality. Okay. This one might be provide decent products to everyday people. Something like that. Now, principles can also be much more interesting than this, but this is just getting you started. Okay. You're day one, you haven't even swung a hammer to make money. You're trying to figure out what the hell you're going to do and how you're going to make money. So you're building your very first set of principles, and you're looking for purpose. You're looking what reputation you want. Maybe you want to be the person they call in a pinch, so that, like an insurance, if you want to do insurance projects, arson happens, floods happen, things like that, where all you want to do is deal with a homeowner or a business that has insurance that's going to pay the bill. And so you get good at that. There's a lot of paperwork involved in that. So you get good at that. And you work with insurance companies. You also work with realtors, and you work with homeowners. But you also have to advertise quite a bit. And you have some competitors out there. So there's things like that you have to worry about. Maybe you're a plumber of some kind, and you want to provide only copper because that's what you like to work with. I don't know, this is a terrible example, but you want to be the copper guru. So you put yourself out there to work in historic buildings where all the copper or all the plumbing has to come back into copper. All right. Or you want to work in I'll give you a good example, a brewery, where that's a visible operating brewery, all glass walls so people can see copper and perfect polished, uh, perfectly laid out, bent proper, the whole works, something like that where it's a showpiece. Okay, maybe that's what you want to do. So put that down in your purpose and your reputation to be the best copper guru there is. All right, maybe you want to work in something different. Maybe, and that's what this is for. You also want to decide what your reputation is going to be. Okay. Can you call me at any hour of the night? Like in emergencies, earthquake happens. Can you be called to anywhere in the world to do something? Any time of the day? Are you a um, rapid deployment type of person? Is your service rapid deployment? Is it very specific? And because it is, you get to charge an extraordinarily high premium for your time. And it's worth it. It's worth it to everyone who needs your help. So there's that. If you're the kind of builder that wants to go build in a disaster zone where combat just finished up or whatever, and you're going in and you're clearing out unexploded ordnances while you're building houses back for folks, that's possibly a model. There's all sorts of different models. Use the same thing. You've got to decide what your purpose is. You've got to decide what kind of reputation you want to have. And you have to build a principle based on that. Principles can be other things too, but for just starting, that's how you're going to get this set up. All right. So we're talked about the setting your reputation and determining whether quality, safety, the whole, there's a tripod of things. Okay. Um, there's an old adage, you can have two of three things. You can either have it fast, cheap, or let's see, fast, cheap. Oh, what am I screwing up? So schedule, budget, quality. Sorry. Hey, I'm getting old. So that's why I'm getting all this out on video. So, and of course, safety is always there. You always have safety. So don't, you guys out there that are going to be raising hell because I didn't put safety first. Safety's always first. Okay. You can't work if you don't have a hand. Be real. We all know that. All right. So let's just talk about business. And business is, can you get it done on time? Can you get it done under budget? And can you provide top quality? Well, you get two out of the three. So you get to choose two. Now, some folks who have quite a bit of money and they have time and they want quality, they can do all three. And those are great to work with. Most folks don't, most businesses don't. They've got to get it done at a deadline. So they're willing to spend a butt ton of money to get it done on a deadline. Or it's a museum and it has to be top quality. So they're going to spend a bunch of money to throw out miscuts, to throw out defective materials, and do that type of thing so that it comes in perfect and it'll be perfect forever. That's the mentality there. And then, so you got two folks looking at quality or looking at time. So the ones that are sacrificing time or sacrificing quality to get done on time, they're either going to sacrifice quality. Anyhow, I don't want to go into it. Just giving you an idea of what I just said. Those are the three things you got to work with. Safety's all the time. So um, I don't know. I spun out of control on that one. Sorry, folks. All right, let's get into the next one. Inviting people to work with you. So you know a bunch of people, they know a bunch of people, everybody knows a bunch of people. There's social media, there's word of mouth, and inviting people to know you and your company is your marketing effort. So every time you interact with someone, let them know, hey, I just started a business. I'd really like to get an opportunity to get to know you or build something for you. Anything that you got going on, I'd like to, I mean, I'm just getting started, so I'm willing to do some discounting in order to build a portfolio so that I can show this product and then I can um, get some information from you. So not information from you, I can get feedback from you so I can tell my next customer, hey, this is what I was able to produce and I have a happy customer. And that's how you get started. All right. Tell everybody. You meet someone on the street, hey, you wouldn't happen to need this. You might need that. Or you see a house that's all messed up. Are you going to do anything with this or do you need some help? There's a lot of folks doing that. Working with social media, Facebook and others, you can definitely put your name out there on Facebook. But I can tell you, there's so many scammers out there right now. It is very difficult to fight through all the robo bull crap that comes up. So you got to be tolerant of that. Word of mouth has always been best. And once you build a portfolio, then you can use that as your marketing tool. That's what your website is. It's going to be your portfolio. You're going to show all your beautiful projects, the ones that, and everybody knows, the ones that you didn't do so well on aren't going to be up there. So, and believe me, I don't care how good you are, there's going to be a few folks that don't like what you did. So, and they don't like it whether they had envisioned it something different in their heads, or they were unable to communicate it properly what they wanted, and they didn't have the capacity to correct you as you were doing it, or you just screwed up. Okay. You didn't get it done on time when they needed it. It does happen. There's going to be some wonderful jobs, and hopefully 90% of them are wonderful and only 10% are crappy. I know, for example, this did not happen to me. This happened to um, a friend of mine who built a beautiful project for a lawyer. Okay. And it was all going well. The interior was done. Everything was done absolutely perfect. Even the lawyer said it was done great. And when he asked for final payment, the lawyer said, "Good luck getting it from me." And you know, you're like, "What do you mean? I did everything correctly." "Yeah, everything looks great. I don't intend on paying you." And while that sounds terrible, it happens all the time. So you have to be careful. Even when you have contracts, make sure that your contracts are done well. Make sure they're read by another attorney, and make sure you're involved in that piece of it, and be prepared to lose some of those. You are going to lose some. Some are just not worth fighting. Some are worth fighting, regardless. So don't presume that everyone has perfect projects every single time. That's not true at all. In fact, the bigger boys are constantly fighting with each other, suing each other, arguing with each other, and it's a good business model. There's an example of another project that was under construction. Everybody's happy, owner's happy, contractor's happy. There was a lot of changes during that contract. Everybody agreed that there were changes, and the owner decided to take the contractor to court anyway. And the argument was over overpayment of hourly. Okay, so the owner claimed that there's more hours that he was charged than that actually happened on the job. Well, that's kind of hard to prove unless you really track the time cards correctly. And everyone knows there's a potential that time cards are incorrect at some point. So maybe you didn't catch all the subs. Maybe you got an invoice from a sub and it might be erroneous or whatever. There's all sorts of things that legal lawyers can do to make you or make the jury or the judge or the arbitrator think that there's potential that the owner's correct and that he was charged too much. So the reason why an owner would do this, even if there isn't anything like that, historically, they can knock down, and they know they can talk down the actual price of the project with the promise of future projects. So let's say the change order the whole price ended up being $1.5 million. Okay. If, and it's based on 5,000 hours or whatever, and some materials. If he's able to get 80 cents on the dollar, he's done a great deal for himself. So it's a good business practice for some of these guys with huge buildings to do something like that. And then promise that you're going to get the next project. I know this was a little sour for you, but you'll get the next project. All right. So there's a tit for tat that happens. That is business. Okay. Not great business. I hate it. Most contractors hate it, but they understand that that's the nature of the beast. And very often there's a reason behind the owner having to do that. And you may not ever find out what that reason is, other than it could be just greed, but very often it's not just greed. So, all right, let's get on to the next thing. So networking, you want to talk to whomever, Jim, Where I saw Jim at the conference, whatever conference, when it was in June. June. Jim's got two sons in lacrosse. Oh, I'm gonna miss. Okay. And maybe you want his phone number, right? Phone, something like that. And it could be anything from 2425, whatever. Okay. You grab three and slide it. Oh, come on. I don't get this out of the way. Grab that, slide it over, spread this out. The reason why you want to have these types of things is because you're going to see him. Let's say you're going to see Jim again. It might be a year later, and you want to be able to refer back. You know, I think it's always good to make a connection. So I have two sons and a daughter, and he's got two sons. They play lacrosse, mine don't. But, you know, there's some type of synergy, something that we can talk about. And if I remember him and he doesn't quite remember me, you go, oh, I think you have two sons that play lacrosse the last time we talked. And that might trigger the discussion, right? A memory of what the discussions were about. So that keeps building. And that's how you build relationships and friendships. There's also lots of different other ways to communicate. Um, Very often, if you get the self-help books and things like that, that's also good. Uh, I think if you mirror somebody, that's a good way. And I'm using a term that I got from a book. So I think mirroring is an exceptional way of getting to know somebody. And I think that's important. So networking is about getting to know somebody, getting a link of some kind of connected relationship, and then discussing how we can help each other. Because it's always about helping each other. It's never you help me. It's not like that. How we're helping each other. I can help you by doing this. Is that something that you would like? And is there reciprocity there? Will you help me too? Something like that. And it should be a tit for tat. It should be, that's how you build a relationship versus a master slave relationship. And I know I shouldn't say slave, but that's, you're getting the idea. Okay. You want to be a trade partner and not a subject to a king, although that happens quite often in this business. All right, so there you go. Networking, accounting. So you have to keep track of your cash flow. That's the number one killer of all companies between their first and fifth years. They die very frequently if they don't have a cash flow. So, first of all, you're not making sales, you're not getting projects done on time, you're not hitting your marks, you're not able to pay yourself your minimum wage, whatever that is. We worked it out earlier. And your family's starving. So you got pressure from the wife, you got pressure from the kids, you got pressure from the community because you want to make sure you're doing the right thing for your children and your family. And you know, things go spiral south very quickly. So you want to be able to track your money. You need to know. So there's a couple things that you have to do as a business owner. You have to track your money, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I did show you a little bit earlier in earlier videos, but we're going to go over a little bit more so you have some idea of accounting. But as long as you're tracking your money and you're able to hand it off to a bookkeeper or an accountant monthly, quarterly, whatever works for you, um, and they put it into a software program that they're familiar with, Peachtree or QuickBooks. There's some other ones, Sage. There's others, okay? And of course, there's several popping up all the time. So whatever that accountant is using. So you need an accountant, you need a bookkeeper that if you don't want to do your own books, you need a bookkeeper that's going to put everything organized, get it into the books, get it to the accountant. The accountant's going to analyze it and make sure that your accounts are set up correctly, make sure that your taxes are paid, your payroll taxes are paid, payroll's paid, all that type of junk. And then at the end of the year, you want a CPA. You could do it in 6 months so that you're paying your taxes to the federal government and you don't get additional fines if you're doing enough work. But at the very minimums, you need a CPA to get your taxes right at the end of the year, your personal taxes. So along with your income tax, if you're an employee of your company, you're going to be paying the company. The company's going to get a form that's broken down on whether it's a profit year or a loss year. That goes into your personal income tax and submitted to the government, the Department of Revenue, IRS, sorry. Um, and maybe your state Department of Revenue. So anyhow, that's what a CPA does. And then a tax attorney, when you're working with complex different projects. So one of my clients does public works, commercial works, some residential, high-end residential, very often some industrial. There's different communities that have different taxes for each city, state, and municipality even. So let's say a county has a county tax, the city has a city tax. There's a B&O tax for you as an owner that you have to pay here. There's a tax on this and a tax on that. If you buy tools, there's taxes on those tools. If you have materials that get put into a project, there's taxes that have to go to the owner that have to be paid. And those taxes, if you're the GC, comes back to your accounts and they have to be pulled out properly and tagged properly so that when the IRS comes and checks you out, or the local Department of Revenue comes and checks you out in an audit, which they will, all your taxes are aligned, blah, 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 blah. And it is a brutal process. So that is when you have your CPAs and your accountants. They might be struggling with it, but you might want to reach out to a tax attorney. If it's a straightforward, I'm building a deck, then it's not a big deal. So that's what accounting is for. And all you have to do is track your cash going out, track your cash coming in, and any other oddball stuff. Just write it down, leave enough notes, take photos of your receipts, link them to your page like we showed you, and you'll be fine. All right, the next thing is planning for growth and balancing your growth rate. This is something we're going to get into greater detail, so I don't really want to mess with it too much here. But you are going to build a business plan, and your business plan can be as simple as, well, I'm only going to serve this community for the first year. Then I'm going to expand to this community for the next year, and I'm going to add another team member next year, and that type of thing. Or you're going to say, instead of by timeline, you're going to do it by cash flow. So once I hit $50,000 in savings or whatever, I'm going to hire a new person. Okay. And then I'm going to do that until you have milestones that drive your business decisions. But that's really what your planning is. Okay. We'll go into greater detail there. Your team and schedule, that's sort of goes along with your business planning, organizing your activities. So you want to organize your activities, obviously, because you're an organization. You want people to see that you're very organized. So the paperwork, the contracts that they see, the bills that they see, the pricing, the pay apps that they see, all the invoicing, all the materials. There's no excess or losses. So there's tons of organizing that has to happen, even on a simple deck. So being organized is huge. Your people, they have to be organized and be representing you at the same time. So you have to train your people to represent you, and get them to understand that they have to be organized so everyone sees a nice, clean project. There's more to it. You also have to organize your offices and things like that. So we can go in, we're going to go into more of that when we're talking about scheduling and resourcing, as well as doing some leadership stuff. Conflict resolution, risk management. All right, risk management's interesting. So I said about safety on the earlier. Safety is absolutely important. It's massively important. A simple injury can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars as a business, if you're looking at it purely from a monetary sense. So it's extremely important that way. It's also important that your people are safe and the projects are built safe and their families see you as safety. Nobody wants to see you as an unsafe company. Um, so there's a lot involved. Besides your personal feelings about anybody, including yourself or your family, it has more to do with business. You do not want people to work in an unsafe environment. In fact, it's illegal for them to do so. They have the obligation to report it if they're forced into it. So there's a lot of things that you've got to just accept that as a reality. Don't put your guys doing asbestos work when they're not trained to do asbestos work and you're not licensed to do asbestos work. You're just going to get yourself in trouble. Don't put guys on the roof without fall protection, even if they want to. Oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't care. I don't care. That's not the way the company wants to work. And you get to decide that. If you let them get up there, it's your problem. It's your business. That's it. If they get up there and they take their harness off, they're fired. You have to be diligent about that. Train them, do whatever you got to do to make sure that they understand the rules and what's your expectations. So, risk management, make sure you're operating safely, make sure your people are safe, make sure they're working safe. That's huge. That will save you so much money, so many headaches, and keeping the folks that know how to do the work in the field doing the work versus hiring someone while someone's resting a leg or a back is will make you tons of money in the long run. So keep your people safe and you'll be fine. Insurance. Everybody's got to have insurance. You have to keep the insurance on a project. So let's say you do a project and you put a 1 year warranty on it. In commercial work, you have to carry insurance on that project for a year. Bonding is a little different, but bonding has to do with are you bondable to a certain dollar amount? So let's say your company's worth $50,000. Your bonding company might assess, okay, $50,000, I can bond you for 300,000, or at least we'll take the risk on a $300,000 bond. And that means you can go out and bid on a $300,000 project using a bid bond and not have to use your own money. And then if that project, which they usually do, require a performance and a payment bond, then they'll cover you up to 300,000. You need to do that because once you do one successfully, the bonding company is willing to raise your bonding rate. And as your bonding rate goes up or your bonding ability goes up, the bigger and bigger projects you can get. And that's important if you're going to grow your business. If you're not going to grow your business and all you're going to be doing is your basic bonding, working in residential, or doing something where you're working underneath a general contractor and they're doing all the bonding, which is perfectly a good, legitimate business model, then that's fine. But if you want to grow a business outside of being a subordinate contractor, then you're going to need that bonding. And HR, human resources, how do you deal with people? So people are difficult. They've got families, they got agendas, they've got emotions. They don't like working with Jimmy. Jimmy's a jerk. Jimmy looked at my sister. I can't stand that. I'm going to kill Jimmy. You have that nonsense. You also have, oh, I don't feel well. I don't want to work today. I need a mental health day. And they go off and they do it. You have no choice. You can't keep them there. All right. And so your choices are get rid of them, and you need a good reason in certain states to get rid of them. Other states, it's at will, which I'm glad Washington State is at will. So if they don't want to work for you, they can walk off. If you don't want them working for you, you can let them go. Make sure you have good reason to let them go, and that you're not using um, defamation in any way, shape, or form. So there's lots of risk involved in working with people. So an HR department who manages all the training, who manages all the hiring and firing, that's independent of your field folks, independent of someone that works with them daily. I mean, when you first start a business, you're the HR department, you're the safety department, you're the marketing department, and all that stuff. Eventually, you're going to task that out to other people or to consultants. So that's a good thing. That's important that you recognize that. And yeah, so that's, you need to assess where you're at to determine your business acumen. Uh, get a spreadsheet, write all your notes down, break it down by tabs, just like I did here, and just start adding stuff. Put this in your archive and use it for the first 3 years. Just keep adding stuff for your first 3 years, or when you're getting ready to, you're going to be modifying your business plan probably every year. Maybe the first year you're going to do it twice, but you're going to keep modifying it because you're going to keep focusing what skills your crew has and yourself, and marry it up with your experiences. So let's say you were a deck builder and all of a sudden there's a crunch on money for residential folks for whatever reason, and the deck market goes soft. Okay. The deck repair market might be doing okay, or the window replacement market might be doing okay. And so you're modifying yourself. You're also modifying your business plan to affect that, because there's a marketing section of your business plan. So anyhow, we're going to go into greater detail, but when you're first starting out, you need to assess where you're at right now, and you need to set a baseline. And that's what this is all about. All right. So that is the end of getting started. We're going to jump into apprentice level 1 on the next video. And I recommend that while you guys are out there working and getting through your first couple projects, that you look at some of the shorts. So I've done some essentially contracting shorts, about 15-minute videos that show you how to do some quick estimating and stuff like that. So take a look at those, still go through the apprenticeship, and I think you'll, by the time you get out of the apprenticeship, you're going to be fine. So if you need any help, you can email me at mark@buildersflux.com, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. And if you need some shadow management, we can work something out there too. And I'm not necessarily interested in having cash from you. That's not how I do business. My goal here is to help you grow. And I think if I do a good job, um, I'll make a bit of money as well. So I'm a for profit, but let's say, well, we can talk about this independently. But for the most part, you don't have to put cash out front. It's a portion of whatever our success is together. So that's how it's set up. Feel free to contact me, and I look forward to talking with you at the apprentice level. All right, have a good one.